Before, during, and after reading strategies. Module 2, page 7. As we learned in the previous module, utilizing strategies for before, during, and after reading can help to increase our enjoyment of reading, our comprehension of text, and our critical thinking skills. Before we start reading, we should first preview the text. You should read the title, read the subheadings, and think about how they're related to the title or topic. And look at the pictures and other graphics. Think about how they're related to the title or topic. Let's look at this example. The title of this article is Trans Fat Ban Takes Effect Next Year. We also have a picture, but no subtitle. Based on this information, my guess is that this article is about fats, fatty foods, and something about them being banned. The fact that there's French fries in the picture makes me think that the article might be something about fast foods and the fats that they use in fast foods. Next, you should brainstorm what you already know about the topic. Write down one or two things you already know and try to make a connection to an experience you've had or something you've heard. Relating to this article, one thing I already know is that some places have banned trans fat already. Again, I don't totally know what a trans fat is, but I just remember hearing that these types of fatty foods have been banned in certain places. Another thing I've heard is that some other foods, like really large, oversized soft drinks, they've been banned in other places too. Next, you should make a prediction. It could be about who or what the text will be about, where and when does the reading occur, or what do you think you'll learn from the text. Based on this article, I think it will probably tell me when the ban will begin, when trans fats will be banned. I think and I hope that it'll tell me what a trans fat is. These are a couple predictions I've made about the text. Finally, you should set a purpose for reading. Write down one or two questions you'd like to find the answers to while you read. My main question going into this text are what are trans facts? One of my major purposes of reading this article is to figure out what a trans fat is. These pre-reading steps, previewing the text, brainstorming known information, making predictions, and setting a purpose, have given me a really strong foundation to better understand what this article is about and to take more away from it. Next, we'll review the during reading strategies we covered. The first was clicks and clunks. If you remember, a click is a word that you understand, while a clunk is a word or phrase you don't know, and that prevents you from understanding the overall message of the text. The first step is to look for words or phrases you don't know or understand. Stop when you find one. Let's read through this article and stop when we find a clunk. Remember, your clunks might be different. I'm just going to stop at one that I find difficult. Trans fat ban takes effect next year. Artificial trans fat will finally be off our plates nearly 12 years after the move was recommended to the federal government. Trans fat is used in the production of pastries, other baked goods, and some packaged goods to extend shelf life. The ban will come into force on September 15, 2018, to give the food industry enough time to find suitable alternatives, the regulator said. Now, I'm going to pause there. The word suitable in that sentence isn't the most common word, and even though I feel like I might know what it means on some level, it would be difficult for me to give a definition of it. This means that it's a clunk. If you feel like you have a general idea of what a word is but aren't totally sure, or if it's totally new or uncommon word, it's good to stop and recognize those are clunks and that understanding is breaking down. To fix up this clunk, we'll use one of our fix-up strategies to figure out what the word or phrase means. So first, I'm going to reread the sentence with the clunk. I might have to reread the sentence before or after the clunk. If there's prefixes, suffixes, or a root of the word that can help us understand it, we can look for those. Or we can decide what part of speech a word is, or see if there's a cognate. First, let's look at the sentence with the word in it. So, the ban will come into force on September 15th, 2018, to give the food industry enough time to find suitable alternatives, the regulator said. I don't see a specific clue in there that's going to help me understand or have a clear definition of the word suitable. So I'm going to look at the sentences before and after. So, trans fat is used in the production of pastries, other baked goods, and some packaged goods to extend shelf life. The ban on trans fats will come into force on September 15, 2018, to give the food industry enough time to find suitable alternatives, the regulator said. It will apply to all foods sold in the country, including imported products and foods prepared and served in restaurants and food service establishments. Now, based on these three sentences, the sentence with the clunk, the sentence before and after it, it seems that trans fats are used in the production of many foods. Ones that are served in the country, ones that are imported, ones that are served in restaurants, and the government wants to give the food industry enough time to find suitable alternatives. So they have to find some sort of alternative that will work. Now that I've read through the sentence before it, and the sentence after it, it seems to me that the word suitable seems like appropriate, or at least something they can use. This might not be a perfect definition, but it's enough to make this clunk into a click. The food industry needs enough time to find appropriate or usable alternatives in their restaurants and in their products. Now that I've turned this clunk into a click, I can finish reading the article. So, Canadian researchers estimate a ban could prevent 12,000 heart attacks in Canada over 20 years. Next, while reading, I need to start getting the gist, which is basically the main idea. To get the gist, first find the most important who or what. Based on the title, based on the topic overall, the fact that the word trans fats repeats throughout it, I can say the what or the most important topic of this article is trans fats. Step 2, find important information about the who or what. So if the topic is trans fat, it's important that it's going to be off our plates or removed, that it extends shelf life, the ban will apply to all food sold in the country, and that this ban will prevent somewhere around 12,000 heart attacks in the next 20 years. So I know the who or what, trans fat, and I have some important information that the text points out about it. Finally, write a short gist statement. So, what is the main point or the gist of this article? I would say the gist of this article is that trans fats will be banned in Canada in 2018. The topic is trans fat, and it seems that the main point they're trying to make is that's going to be banned in 2018. After reading, there's a few strategies you can use to get the most out of what you've read. First, you could create some questions, because asking and answering questions is a great way to clarify understandings and remember what you've read. First, we'll create and answer some right there questions. If you remember back to the previous module, a right there question is a question that requires you to find information right there in the text in one place. I need to think of a question and find some information about a specific detail in this text. One question could be, when will trans fats be banned? The answer is September 15th, 2018. That is a question that requires some information that's right there in the text in one place. You can also write and answer think and search questions. A think and search question requires you to combine or contrast information from two different parts of the article. One question could be, why is trans fat being banned? Information I need to answer that are the fact that, well, it's used in the production of many of our baked goods, our pastries, our packaged foods, and banning it can prevent up to 12,000 heart attacks in Canada over 20 years. So, why is trans fat being banned? Because it's used in many of our foods, and banning it can prevent heart attacks. Finally, you can write and answer author and you questions. Now remember, an author and you question is one that takes information in the text and extends it to something you wonder about. One question could be, does anything I eat contain trans fats? Well, based on the information, that trans fat is used in the production of pastries, other baked goods, and some packaged goods to extend shelf life, there's a very good chance I eat food that contains trans fats. Whether it's some packaged food from the grocery store or maybe a quick muffin at a convenience store, there's a chance that those foods contain trans fats. After we're done reading, we should also identify the most important information and answer the questions that we set for ourselves before reading. Some of my earlier predictions and questions were that this will probably tell me when the ban will begin. It did. My prediction was correct. The article says that the ban will begin on September 15, 2018. I also thought that it might tell me what a trans fat is, which was my question. What are trans fats? The article says that trans fats are a type of fat that's used to extend shelf life and make certain products and foods last longer. Remember, these before, during, and after reading strategies can help to increase our enjoyment of reading, our comprehension of text, and our critical thinking skills.